Everybody plays some kind of game. Press start to play. Welcome to my brain. Welcome to my brain. Press start to play. Welcome to my brain.
Alright guys, I just wanted to give, a little review of Little Nightmares 2. Right off the bat, I just want to say this game, it was fucking incredible. Like I was excited to play it after I tried out the demo, just because I saw how you were like in the woods, and I don't know, it felt good to be kind of in the world of Little Nightmares instead of just on the Maw. Like, don't get me wrong, Little Nightmares 1 is great, the atmosphere for that game is incredible, but because of that game, I was like so excited when I found out that, oh shit, I'm gonna be like out in the world, that excited me to no end. So when I finally hopped into it, dude, it definitely delivered on what I wanted out of the game. Like, you start off in the woods with all the traps, like the atmosphere was amazing, and then obviously you get into the house and you find the hunter, and who ends up being 6. And then you run from them and shit, and then you kind of get onto this door and you float off, and then you're in, I don't know, this weird city that's all kind of like deformed and shit. But let's just start, before I get too into like the actual story of the game, let's just start off with like the presentation of it, which I already kind of just touched on. But like graphically, it's definitely an improvement over the first game. But what's wild to me is that this is still a PS4 game. Like, I bought it digitally on PS5, and it says, Little Nightmares 2 PS4 and PS5. So for a second, I was like, oh, is there actually like a PS5 version of the game? But no, it's only the PS4 version that you're playing on PS5. But what I thought was really cool is it seemed to like kind of sort of take advantage of the DualSense controller. Like, I know it wasn't using haptic feedback, but the vibration that it did give was very good. It was subtle yet intense where it needed to be. Like, the one example I can give where it was really obvious was when you're like dragging one of those heavy weapons, whether it's the sledgehammer or pipe, what have you. Like, alongside like the sound that's in the Pulse 3D headset that I was using on stream, like with the vibration that it's giving you, like it really felt like I was dragging like a sledgehammer or whatever, like across the wooden floor. Like, it was insane. Like, I don't know what they did. I mean, because what I need to do is go and play it with a DualShock 4 controller and see what the vibration is like in there. But honestly, with the DualSense, like, it felt really cool. Like, I would have, like, if you'd have told me, like, and I didn't look at it, and you said, hey, this is the PS5 version of Little Nightmares 2, I would have believed you, just based on the vibration. Obviously, it would have been cool if there was like haptic feedback when you're climbing something. Adaptive triggers when you're climbing something. But yeah, it was insane. And like, if one of the like boss enemies like is looking around for you or whatever, like you feel your heartbeat in the controller with the vibration. So that's really cool. So I guess, I mean, that's pretty much kind of like the gameplay features. The sound design was wild. Like, again, I played the entire game with a Pulse 3D headset on, and like I was genuinely scared over like the smallest noises. Like, it honestly had like the same sort of vibe as like Resident Evil 7 had, where it was like even the tiniest little noise would like totally put me on edge. Because that's kind of the difference between this game and the first Little Nightmares, is like the first Little Nightmares is creepy, sure, but like I feel like the overall atmosphere it wasn't like really scary. Like, I feel like Little Nightmares 1 is like a good intro to horror games for like a younger audience. It's still a fun, challenging game to play puzzle-wise for like adults or what have you. But I feel like that was kind of the vibe of the first game, was like, this is like a good intro to horror games for a younger audience. But Little Nightmares 2 was like genuinely scary. Like, there were some points in the game where like I was scared. I was like, oh shit, like the biggest most prominent example is those mannequins in like the mental asylum. I call them mannequins. I think they're more like puppets, but I just call them mannequins. When you have to shine your flashlight on them, or they'll fucking chase you. Like, the way that they move, bro, like, it's terrifying. Like, it really is. Like, I was scared of every single like puppet, mannequin, whatever that you see, and they fuck you up because they'll all be like facing a wall. So like that's creepy in itself, and then you're just waiting for them to turn around and start chasing you. Like, that shit was scary. The teacher, right? So I had seen her in, you know, screenshots, trailers, whatever, and everything that I saw of her, I was like, that seems kind of like a dumb design. Like, I could see why people would be scared of her like long ass neck, but like I honestly thought that, like, before I played it, that when I got to her, I wasn't gonna be scared. I was just gonna be like, oh, whatever. I mean, it's a cool design. It kind of fits with like what they had in Little Nightmares 1 with like the long arms, or like the fat chefs and shit. But then when you actually get to her, like, she's fucking terrifying. Like, she really is. Because I never got to see how her neck moves. That's what's scary. It's not that she has like a long neck that can follow you. It's how, like, her neck moves. Like, and it moves fast as fuck. That's like seems to be a theme with this game, is a lot of the enemies and whatnot, like, they move faster than you think they should. And I think that's what's unsettling. Because, like, you know, she'll extend her neck looking for you, and then if she spots you, it's like, you know, and then it just comes and gets you. And she eats you. Like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I didn't know she was gonna like find you and then just fucking eat you. But she was scary. She was scary as shit. I'll give her that. Like, honestly, the hunter was probably the least scary enemy in the game. I think it's because he wears like a mask. I feel like if he had like a creepier face, that would have been scarier. Plus, he uses like a gun, you know. But it was still an intense scene, like running away from him, shooting at you, obviously. That's intense. But the actual enemy itself was a little bit lackluster. And then that fat fuck that hangs from the ceiling, that's another enemy where like he moves too fast. Like, he shouldn't be able to move that fast given his size, but that's what makes him scary and unsettling, is that he can fucking crawl on the ceiling like so fast. Like, the scene where he's chasing you, even though it seems, you know, relatively scripted, it was actually scary as shit. Like, I feel like even on multiple playthroughs, that would still scare me. Because he's, like, obviously, like, he's, like, crushing everything because he's so fat. And then when you have to trap him in the furnace was dope. Everything, like, even 6, like, from when you find her to the end, like, the way she acts is so crazy. Like, obviously you kind of see that she's, like, only kind of using you to get where she needs to go, because you can't do it without you, really. But like that part where like you burn that fat dude, I don't know what his name is. I haven't really looked like into the lore of the game quite yet, because you don't learn anybody's name unless you like research this shit. Like, the main character's name is Mono. I had no idea the whole time I was playing. I didn't even know who 6 was until after I beat the game. Like, I didn't know what her name was until I did like a deep dive. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, but 6, after you burn the fat fuck, she's literally just sitting there, like, warming her hands on the fire of the furnace that you just trapped him in. Like, I don't know. Like, it was great. It was great. Obviously, in the stream that I did not get the true ending, because this was just a blind run. I never played it before. I didn't know that there was a secret ending. So, I don't know if I'll, like, stream myself getting it or not. Probably not. I mean, if people aren't going to play it for themselves and they're just watching my playthroughs, you can look up the secret ending on YouTube elsewhere, I guess. I'm going to replay it myself off stream, probably, to get it, because I kind of want to platinum this game if it's not too tough. Like the first game, I'm not gonna platinum just because I don't have the patience to get the trophy where you have to beat it in under an hour and not die once. Like I don't really have that patience, so I'm probably not gonna platinum that game. So if there's a trophy like that for this game, then I guess I'm fucked. I'm trying to think. I covered a lot of the gameplay. I mean, the puzzles, I could just talk. I mean, there's not much to say about the puzzles. They're kind of the same sort of format as the first game, but the way they implement them is a little bit better. It's really, they're challenging. There were two that if you watch my streams, I was stuck on for a long time. I didn't realize what I was supposed to do. But like, you figure it out. You just gotta have that thinking cap on, you know. They're not bad. Story-wise, I mean, Little Nightmares, the reason why I think Little Nightmares 1 and 2 have been my favorite games to stream is because there's no cutscenes. Like, it's literally, I mean, there's, I guess, technically an opening and an ending cutscene, but, like, you know, once you get through that short opening cutscene, you're just playing. And, like, they don't hold your hand, like, whatsoever. Like, there are a couple of instances where, like, it taught you how to call 6 because that was like a new feature, so like they did tell you, you know, press triangle to call, but they don't tell you how to implement anything. They don't, and even in the beginning of the game, they just assume that you've played the first one because like they don't teach you that you need to hold the right trigger to climb shit or hold on to shit. Like they didn't teach you that in the first game either. You just had to press all the buttons and figure out what they do, and I fucking love that. Let me just tell you that right off the bat. Like you take for granted like all these games that give you like a tutorial level and show you what to do, but these games do not do that like at all. Like in the first game and a little bit in the second game, I didn't really run into it because I already knew how to play the game from the first game, but in the first game, like if you're stuck on something, like it will eventually tell you hey, press circle to take out your lighter. Like in the first game, like if a room's dark and you're just like walking around in it, like the game will recognize that you haven't taken out your lighter to see what you might need to like progress. So it'll tell you eventually, but it takes like a long time. They give you like plenty of time to try to figure it out yourself. And in the very beginning of the game, like I said, it doesn't even teach you how to run. I went through like a decent chunk of the first game without ever running. Like, obviously you have to make certain jumps at a certain point, but there was, like, a good while where I didn't even run. I didn't know how to. I didn't think to hold square. Like, shit like that. And I like that, though. They, like, it, because old school games wouldn't do that. Like, especially if you bought it secondhand and didn't have a manual, you just had to press all the buttons and figure out what they did. So, I really like that about this game. Now, it is very short. I think I doubled my time playing this game compared to the first, but that's not saying much. I beat the first game in 3 hours. And I think I beat this game in like 5.5 hours, something like that. So, you know, it's still very short, and I paid, well, first of all, I didn't pay for anything when I played Little Nightmares, the first one, because it was on PS Now. But then when I streamed the DLC, I actually decided, you know what, I want to own the first Little Nightmares game, so I bought the complete edition when it was on sale for $8. So I did pay $8 for Little Nightmares and the DLC. That's a bargain. Like that was worth my money. I spent $30 on Little Nightmares 2. Me personally, I felt it was worth it because I'm going to replay the game like more than once. Like I'm gonna replay this game a lot because I fucking love it. But for most people, I feel like you should wait until maybe it's $20, $15. I feel like that's a fair price. If you really want to wait like a year or two and wait till it goes on sale like the first game does all the time for like $5, then sure, do that. But I would recommend picking it up for like no more than $20. I know it's only like $10 difference, but just based on the amount of time it takes to beat it and the amount of content that's there afterwards, like you're gonna play, if you really like it, you're gonna play more than 5.5 hours. You're probably gonna play at least like 15 hours if you want to like collect everything like I do. I want to get all the hats and the little fragments, those fragmented people, because that's how you get the true ending. So I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm gonna get my money's worth out of it because I spent $30 on it. But yeah, like unless you absolutely love the first game, then the extra $10 to play it now because you want to play it, like it's kind of just based on personal preference. If I was gonna have a recommendation for like a casual person, I would say maybe wait till it's down at least $10, and then at least you'll feel like the $20 was well spent. Where like you might not feel like $30 was, you know. But incredible game. I highly recommend it. And what's good about this game is you don't necessarily have to play the first one. Like, obviously, there are, like, aha moments, like when Six gets her raincoat. Like, obviously, if you played the first one, you'd get the significance of that. But the way that they do it, even the secret ending that kind of ties into the first game, it's okay. Like, you could play the second game, get the secret ending, and then play the first game because you like the second game, and it would still make sense. Like, so it's cool. Like, if you've never played the first one, you could pick this one up and still enjoy the shit out of it. Because there's not too many references to the first one. So, it kind of is a standalone game, other than the fact that if you played the first one, you would know who your companion is. Like, you'd have more, like, maybe emotional attachment or something to them. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Fucking amazing game. I had a blast playing it. I had a blast with the people that were in the stream, so I appreciate those guys. It was fun. I wish I had split it up into 3 parts, because my first stream's like 2 hours and then my second one's 4 hours. But the problem is, it really was only like 3 hours, the second stream, but I left the credits rolling for like 45 minutes because I didn't realize that they loop. Because I was waiting for the credits to end, so I was like shooting the shit with the live chat and doing the shit for like 45 minutes. So realistically, I beat it, and that's why I said like 5.5 hours, because the second stream is like 4 hours and 15 minutes, but I was on the credits for like 45 minutes. So, but yeah, I had a great time. So that is a little tip. Once you get to the credits, you just have to quit out of your game. Like, you can't go back to the main menu, I don't think. Unless I fucked something up, but mine just kept looping. I was on the credits for 45 minutes, like I said. So yeah, guys, that's my review for Little Nightmares 2. You know, until next time.